I don't know what turned Parsons on to Crowley originally. I have a few guesses. It could have been Liber Oz, which Crowley wrote because somebody complained that his books were too hard to understand. So he wrote a one-page summary of all of his ideas, in which almost every word is one syllable. There are a couple of two-syllable words in it, but most of it is one word, one-syllable words. It begins, "Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law," which is all one syllables. And it goes on, man has the right to live as he will, to love as he will, to create art as he will, to create science as he will, to dress as he will, and it goes on like that. Mostly, as I said, one-syllable words. That might have been what turned Parsons on. Or maybe it was Book 4, which is the most rational scientific account of mysticism ever written. Crowley begins by saying we live in a world in which there's a lot of suffering. The first thing we notice is the amount of suffering that we endure and the amount of suffering going on around us. So the major question of philosophy is, how can we escape suffering? And then he describes yoga step by step as a series of techniques for abolishing suffering by detaching yourself from mechanical conditioned reactions within the nervous system. And then he goes on to explain magic as a series of techniques to make yoga work faster. That could have appealed very much to somebody with a background like Parsons. And then again, maybe it was just one of Crowley's, maybe it was one of Crowley's novels, like Diary of a Dope Fiend, which might have appealed to somebody with a chemical background. I got interested in psychedelics because of a conservative philosopher named Russell Kirk, who in one of his books mentioned Aldous Huxley's experiments with mescaline and said this proved the existence of heaven and hell. I wasn't sure it proved the existence of heaven and hell, but what I observed was that it showed that consciousness depends on the chemistry of the brain. And that's what got me interested in psychedelic research, because the idea that consciousness depends on the chemistry of the brain is a natural thought to me. I had a kind of I had basically a scientific education to start with. And so that could have appealed very much to Parsons with his background. But however he got interested in Crowley, Crowley was like a key that opened a lot of locks for Jack Parsons.